The darkness of space erupted with sudden violence as alien battleships tore through the peaceful perimeter of New Terra Colony. Massive energy weapons carved glowing lines across the starlit backdrop, their destructive power illuminating the fragile human settlements below. Captain J. Kim stood motionless on the bridge of the reconnaissance vessel Horizon, his dark eyes reflecting the tactical displays showing the unfolding invasion. Sweat beaded on his forehead as he watched entire settlement sectors vanish under precise alien bombardment. The colony's initial defense systems flickered like dying embers against the overwhelming technological might of the invaders. "Transmission incoming," announced the ship's communication officer, her voice steady despite the chaos. The holographic display crackled to life, revealing the alien commander, a creature with iridescent skin and multiple eye stalks that seemed to pulse with cold calculation. "Humans," the alien's translator device spoke in a mechanically precise tone, "your resistance is futile. Surrender your colony and prepare for integration." Kim's hand instinctively touched the communication panel. He knew every second counted. The colony's survival depended on buying time for evacuation and potential reinforcement. Beneath the horizon, New Terra's landscape transformed. Defensive turrets emerged from hidden underground complexes, their angular shapes rising like mechanical guardians. Automated defense systems hummed with energy, preparing to challenge the invading fleet. The first wave of human defensive missiles launched, creating brilliant arcs of blue-white energy against the dark canvas of space. They struck alien scout ships with surprising precision, destroying several advance units before they could fully penetrate the colony's outer defenses. But the aliens were prepared. Their technology was generations ahead of what human intelligence had initially predicted. For every scout ship destroyed, 3 more took its place, their weapons charging with apocalyptic potential. Kim watched the tactical display, his training from the Terran Space Academy kicking in. Pattern recognition, threat assessment, potential escape routes, his mind processed information faster than most computers. Something about this attack felt different. This wasn't a random invasion. This was a calculated, strategic assault. "Send encrypted emergency transmission to Earth Command," he ordered. "Code Crimson." "Repeat, Code Crimson." The communication officer's fingers danced across encrypted channels, ensuring the message would bypass potential alien interception. Within moments, the transmission was sent, a digital beacon of hope and warning. On the planet's surface, colonists moved with remarkable discipline. Years of preparatory drills and survival training transformed ordinary citizens into a coordinated evacuation force. Children were guided into secure underground shelters, while adults collected critical equipment and data archives. An older woman, her silver hair reflecting emergency lighting, helped coordinate a group of teenagers loading emergency medical supplies. Her movements were calm, her instructions clear. This was not their first encounter with potential planetary evacuation. Above the planet, the alien fleet continued its systematic destruction. Energy weapons that could slice through mountain ranges targeted critical infrastructure. Research facilities, communication hubs, and administrative centers disappeared in controlled explosions that left geometric patterns of destruction. Kim knew they were buying time. Every minute of resistance, every destroyed alien unit, provided crucial moments for human forces to respond. The colony wasn't just fighting for survival, they were gathering intelligence, understanding the alien technology and invasion strategy. Suddenly, a massive energy signature appeared at the edge of the solar system. Something was coming. Something that made even the alien invasion force pause in their relentless assault. The first phase of humanity's response was about to begin. The reconnaissance vessel Horizon maintained its position, recording every detail of the invasion. Its quantum-encrypted databanks were filling with information that could change the course of humanity's future. Captain J. Kim remained calm, his hands steady, his mind focused on survival and resistance. This was not the end. This was just the beginning. The underground command center beneath the Cheyenne Mountain complex buzzed with controlled intensity. Intelligence Director Hyun Lee stood before a massive holographic display, her fingers tracing complex data streams that revealed the true scope of the alien threat. "It's not random," she muttered to the assembled military leaders. Satellite and deep space reconnaissance data painted a grim picture. The alien invasion of New Terra was merely the tip of a massive strategic operation that had been years in preparation. In orbital shipyards hidden within Jupiter's massive shadow, massive construction platforms hummed to life. Massive Dreadnought-class vessels began taking shape, ships that had been secretly constructed over decades, their existence known only to a select few military strategists. Each ship represented humanity's hidden strength. Advanced quantum computing systems integrated seamlessly with weapon platforms that defied conventional military technology. Adaptive AI combat networks could process battle scenarios faster than entire alien command structures. Around the world, military bases transformed. Training simulations that had seemed like impossible scenarios now became standard preparation. Soldiers practiced alien terrain combat, zero-gravity warfare, and quantum communication protocols that would render traditional interception methods useless. The Global Defense Network, long considered a theoretical concept, activated its first real-world protocols. Satellites repositioned. Communication networks encrypted and rerouted. Every technological resource humanity had developed was now being channeled into a single, focused response. In Tokyo, research facilities that had been developing next-generation energy technologies suddenly revealed their true purpose. Plasma containment systems that were previously theoretical became practical weapon designs. Scientists who had spent decades working in quiet laboratories now saw their research become humanity's frontline defense. Spacecraft construction yards in orbit worked with inhuman efficiency. Robots and human workers moved in perfect synchronization, assembling dreadnought sections with mathematical precision. Each vessel was more than a weapon, it was a statement of human technological capability. Military recruitment centers saw unprecedented activity. Young men and women who had grown up hearing stories of potential alien encounters now found themselves facing the real possibility of interstellar conflict. Training programs that once took years were compressed into months of intense preparation. Hyun Lee's intelligence report was brutal in its clarity. The Alien Confederation had been studying humanity for decades, believing they understood human weaknesses. They had calculated potential resistance scenarios, developed invasion strategies, and believed victory was certain. They were wrong. The quantum communication network began transmitting encrypted battle plans. Strategists from different military branches shared information through channels that would be invisible to outside observation. Every piece of human technological innovation was now being weaponized. Space stations that had been research platforms transformed into forward operating bases. Defensive systems that had been theoretical became practical weapons. Entire sections of human technological development that had seemed like scientific curiosity now revealed their true purpose. In the command center, Admiral Sung Park reviewed the final mobilization reports. His fingers moved across holographic displays, adjusting strategic deployment scenarios with the precision of a surgeon. Humanity was not just preparing to defend, they were preparing to counterattack. The alien invasion force had made a critical mistake. They had awakened something far more dangerous than they could comprehend. Humanity's true potential was about to be unleashed. As the first wave of Dreadnought-class vessels began final system checks, a sense of quiet determination spread through the military ranks. This was not just a defense of a colony. This was a defense of an entire species' right to exist. The mobilization had begun. And the aliens would soon learn the true meaning of human resolve. The space transformed into a canvas of destruction as the human fleet emerged from hyperspace. No warning. No dramatic announcement. Just sudden, overwhelming presence. Captain J. Kim's hands moved with surgical precision across the control panel of the lead dreadnought. Targeting systems came alive like predators awakening, quantum processors calculating attack vectors in microseconds. The alien battle groups, moments ago confident in their superiority, now looked like children facing an unexpected storm. The first wave of human weapons struck with terrifying efficiency. Plasma torpedoes that could slice through mountain ranges now carved through alien ship formations. Each projectile was a mathematical equation of pure destruction, guided by AI systems that processed battlefield dynamics faster than organic minds could comprehend. Alien command ships exploded in precise geometric patterns. Not random explosions, but calculated demolitions that removed strategic targets with surgical accuracy. Communications networks collapsed. Defense grids disintegrated. The proud Xur Federation's military infrastructure crumbled within minutes. Tactical screens showed the brutal mathematics of conflict. Where alien fleets had hundreds of ships, human dreadnoughts eliminated entire squadrons with minimal losses. Advanced energy shields absorbed incoming fire while quantum weapon systems responded with devastating counterattacks. Target acquisition complete, the ship's AI announced in a calm, emotionless voice. Preparing secondary strike zones. Kim watched as entire alien defensive perimeters collapsed. Their technological advantages meant nothing against human strategic thinking. Every alien movement was predicted, every potential counterattack neutralized before it could begin. Quantum communication networks allowed human commanders to share battlefield information instantaneously. What seemed like chaos to alien observers was a perfectly choreographed dance of technological superiority. Each dreadnought moved with purpose, each weapon strike calculated to maximum efficiency. In the vast darkness of space, human ships moved like shadows. Silent. Deadly. Precise. Alien communication channels erupted with panic. Distress signals spread across multiple star systems, carrying messages of confusion and terror. Their invasion plans, developed over decades of careful study, collapsed within hours of human counterattack. Advanced AI combat networks processed billions of potential scenarios each second. Weapon systems adapted faster than organic commanders could react. The human fleet wasn't just fighting, they were learning, evolving with each moment of conflict. Smaller human assault teams infiltrated critical alien communication centers. Quantum encryption systems bypassed alien defense networks with remarkable ease. Information became a weapon more dangerous than any physical projectile. The first strike was more than a military operation. It was a statement. Humanity would not be conquered. Humanity would not be threatened. Alien commanders watched in disbelief as their most advanced battle formations disappeared from tactical displays. Years of preparation, decades of technological development, vanished in moments against an enemy they had dramatically underestimated. Complete system dominance achieved, the ship's AI reported. Kim allowed himself a slight smile. The real war was just beginning. Across multiple star systems, human dreadnoughts continued their systematic elimination of alien military infrastructure. No drama. No unnecessary violence. Just pure, methodical destruction. The message was clear: humanity had arrived. And they were not here to negotiate. As the last alien defense platforms collapsed, space returned to its quiet darkness. But something had changed. The balance of power in the galaxy would never be the same again. The first strike was complete. And humanity had spoken. The alien Supreme Commander Krell watched the holographic displays with mounting horror. What had begun as a confident invasion had transformed into a nightmare beyond comprehension. Human tactics defied every strategic model their civilization had developed. Quantum transmissions began flooding alien communication networks. But these weren't typical military communications. They were carefully constructed psychological triggers designed to break the alien confederation's collective spirit. High-resolution recordings of their most secure military installations being systematically dismantled played simultaneously across multiple communication channels. No commentary. No dramatic speeches. Just pure, clinical destruction presented with mathematical precision. The human fleet didn't just destroy physical infrastructure. They methodically demonstrated the complete vulnerability of alien defensive systems. Each transmission was a psychological weapon more devastating than any physical weapon. Mathematical projections showed the alien civilization's potential resistance at less than 0.03%. Their most advanced technologies looked like primitive toys compared to human capabilities. The psychological impact was deliberate and devastating. Krell's communication systems received a single transmission. No visual. No audio. Just coordinates and a simple text message, unconditional surrender protocol initiated. Alien military commanders watched their most sophisticated defense networks collapse without a single human soldier physically engaging them. Entire communication infrastructures disappeared with clinical precision. The demonstration was clear: humanity could destroy them without even being physically present. Quantum encrypted messages began revealing the depth of human preparation. Decades of technological development, hidden research facilities, and strategic planning had been waiting for this moment. The aliens were not facing a reactive force. They were confronting a civilization that had been preparing for this conflict for generations. Psychological profiles of alien leadership were transmitted back to their own communication networks. Every weakness, every potential strategic miscalculation was exposed with surgical accuracy. The aliens realized they were not just losing a war, they were being systematically taken apart. Human AI systems began broadcasting potential future scenarios. Scenarios where alien civilizations would be reduced to protectorates. Scenarios where their technological innovations would be completely absorbed. The messages were not threats. They were simple, clinical presentations of potential outcomes. Military installations across alien territories received precise, targeted transmissions showing their complete strategic irrelevance. No dramatic declarations of war. Just cold, mathematical demonstrations of total human superiority. The alien confederation's communication networks began to fracture. Different planetary governments started transmitting surrender requests, each more desperate than the last. The unified invasion force was collapsing from within, destroyed not by physical weapons, but by the understanding of their own inevitable defeat. Kral understood the true nature of the attack. This wasn't just a military operation. This was a complete psychological deconstruction of an entire civilization's sense of power and potential. Human transmissions continued. Each message was a precision instrument designed to remove any potential resistance. Military leaders, planetary governors, technological experts all received personalized communications demonstrating the futility of further conflict. The quantum communication networks became a weapon more powerful than any physical weapon. Information, precisely targeted and clinically delivered, was destroying the alien confederation's will to resist faster than any physical weapon could. No dramatic speeches. No theatrical confrontations. Just pure, methodical psychological dismantling of an entire civilization's sense of power and potential. As communication systems continued to broadcast, the message became clear. Humanity was not just fighting a war. They were demonstrating a level of technological and strategic superiority that made resistance not just impossible, but mathematically irrelevant. The psychological warfare had begun. And the aliens were about to learn the true meaning of human strategic thinking. In the vast darkness of space, human dreadnoughts continued their silent vigil. No movement. No unnecessary displays of power. Just a cold, calculated presence that spoke volumes about humanity's true potential. The real conquest was happening not through physical destruction, but through the precise, calculated dismantling of an entire civilization's sense of hope and potential resistance. The diplomatic vessel approached the designated coordinates, its metallic hull reflecting the cold light of distant stars. Diplomatic envoy Mara's multiple appendages trembled as she prepared the transmission that would determine her entire civilization's future. Admiral Sung Park watched the incoming communication with calculated calm. His fingers traced holographic displays showing the complete strategic breakdown of the alien confederation. What had once been a proud, expansive civilization was now reduced to a collection of isolated planetary systems, each waiting for judgment. Mara's transmission began. No elaborate speeches. No dramatic pleas. Just a simple request for communication, her species' survival hanging in the balance. The quantum communication networks carried her message. A mix of desperation and final hope. "We request terms of surrender," her translated message read. Park's response was immediate. A set of coordinates appeared on the communication channel. The location where the alien confederation would formally submit their unconditional surrender. No negotiation. No discussion. Simply a statement of fact. Across multiple star systems, alien planetary governments received simultaneous transmissions. Each message was a precise legal document outlining humanity's terms. Complete technological transfer. Strategic demilitarization. Economic integration into human-controlled galactic networks. The terms were not a punishment. They were a clinical restructuring of an entire civilization's potential future. Humanity wasn't seeking revenge. They were implementing a comprehensive system of control that would prevent future conflicts. Research facilities that had developed invasion technologies would be dismantled. Military leadership would be removed from power. Economic systems would be restructured to prevent future aggressive expansions. Each point was calculated with mathematical precision. Mara understood the true nature of their defeat. This wasn't just a military conquest. This was a complete systematic reconstruction of her civilization's potential for future conflict. Humanity had identified every potential weakness and was methodically removing them. Quantum data streams began transferring alien technological innovations. Faster than light communication systems. Advanced energy generation technologies. Biological adaptation protocols. Everything would now become part of human technological development. The reckoning was not about destruction. It was about integration. The alien confederation would become a controlled protectorate, their technological innovations absorbed into the expanding human galactic network. Planetary governments began transmitting compliance protocols. Each transmission was an admission of complete defeat. No resistance. No potential for future conflict. Just total, unconditional submission. Admiral Park reviewed the final integration plans. Entire planetary systems would be restructured. Economic networks would be rebuilt. Strategic defense systems would be completely overhauled. The process would take generations, but humanity had time. Communication networks showed the scale of transformation. Alien military facilities were being systematically dismantled. Research centers were being repurposed. Entire planetary economic systems were being restructured to align with human strategic interests. Mara watched as her civilization's future was decided. Not through dramatic confrontation, but through precise, calculated administrative restructuring. Humanity's true power wasn't in destruction, but in its ability to comprehensively reimagine potential futures. The quantum communication networks continued transmitting. Each message was a precise instrument of transformation. The alien confederation was being systematically integrated into a larger, human-controlled galactic structure. No dramatic speeches. No theatrical declarations of victory. Just a clinical, mathematical process of complete civilization reconstruction. As distant stars continued their silent dance, humanity had spoken. The galaxy would listen. The reckoning was complete. And a new chapter was about to begin.